Unethical design is like a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off. Learning about straightforward UX ethics can really lift your work and keep it in line with your values, not to mention help you stay on track with your business goals. Let's face it, most designers are trying to juggle business objectives with user welfare. And it's not always clear how to handle this complex mix, but integrating UX ethics can be pretty straightforward if you stick to some basic guidelines. I've seen in my own experience that ethical design not only boosts user satisfaction, but also strengthens our professional integrity and the reputation of the brands we work for. The biggest hurdle in practicing UX ethics is often the pressure to meet short-term business targets, which might overshadow long-term ethical considerations. Under deadline stress and driven by targets like user engagement and conversion rates, some designers may fall into the trap of using design strategies that prioritize profits over user welfare. For example, dark patterns might trick users into decisions that aren't in their best interests, exploiting their vulnerabilities, compromising their privacy, and manipulating their choices. Over time, this approach can erode user trust and satisfaction, potentially leading to a dwindling user base and a tarnished public image. The push for constant innovation and competitive pressure only magnify the temptation to resort to these tactics. And without formal training in ethics, designers might find themselves unprepared to tackle these dilemmas. This makes unethical designs a major risk, hurting both users and companies alike. To tackle these challenges, designers really need a solid grounding in ethical decision-making. Key qualities like empathy, responsibility, and integrity are crucial. Designers also need to be prepared to stand up for ethical practices even under business pressure. It takes courage to speak out and resilience to maintain ethical standards. These skills enable designers to create experiences that truly benefit users without sacrificing ethical values. Embracing UX ethics can lead to better user engagement and trust. And personally, it feels great knowing you're maintaining high ethical standards. UX ethics are about the moral principles that guide how designers create user interfaces, focusing on building trust and respect between users and technology. It's important to understand the basics. Consent, privacy, transparency, and non-discrimination are foundational pillars. Designers need to actively consider how their decisions affect end users, ensuring respect for their autonomy and rights. For example, in UX design, consent means giving users control over their personal data and clearly informing them about how it's used. This requires designing transparent opt-in mechanisms rather than assuming consent, which can lead to mistrust and frustration. Privacy is another key aspect, requiring that user data be handled with the utmost care and used only for clear purposes. Failing to secure data properly can lead to breaches, severely damaging both user trust and company reputation. Transparency in UX design means being upfront about how information is used and making sure users understand the implications of their interactions. It's about avoiding misleading content and making terms of service clear and accessible, not buried in fine print. Non-discrimination ensures that designs are inclusive and accessible to everyone, no matter their background or abilities. This includes creating interfaces that accommodate users with disabilities, making digital products universally usable. Take the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where lack of transparency and consent led to massive trust breaches. It's crucial for designers to weave these ethical considerations into every stage of the design process to avoid such disasters. Let's consider some real-life examples to underscore the importance of UX ethics. The notorious use of dark patterns, interfaces designed to trick users, shows the negative impact of unethical design. On the flip side, companies like Apple, which prioritizes user privacy, demonstrate how ethical practices respect user consent and privacy. Starting ethical guidelines in UX design involves educating design teams about ethical standards and considering them throughout the design process. This might mean conducting regular ethical audits to catch potential issues before products go to market. Upholding high ethical standards is an ongoing effort, requiring continuous education and adaptation to new ethical challenges. Regular training, updates to guidelines, and open discussions about ethics can help maintain an ethical culture. Moreover, companies can create an environment where ethical concerns are openly discussed without fear of retribution. Celebrating ethical successes can inspire others and highlight the benefits of ethical decision-making. And interestingly, this battle isn't a losing one. The recent lawsuit against Epic Games, resulting in the return of millions to players manipulated into making in-game purchases, is a striking example of the changing tides. For more details on this, check out our video.